How do you find the will to fight back against a world that wants to keep you sedated, average, and stuck in place? Join us for the tools and strategies you need to create a life of abundance, discipline, and high achievement. This is the Tactical Empire with Jeff Smith.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Tactical Empire. I'm super stoked to be here today and talk to you guys a little bit more about the topic of the day. It's been a couple weeks and I apologize, and that's because we are cutting over on our production teams, and so we've had some logistical issues going on there, and so we should be back to a regular scheduled program once a week. I'd like to get to the point where we're doing twice a week. But today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about 75 hard, because I think that it's an appropriate topic for the day, since we being my wife and I, finished 75 hard yesterday. Yesterday was day 75, so we completed it as we went to sleep last night, obviously. So this is my second time all the way through the program. I have done it 2 times before that. And let me go ahead and preface it with what it is for those of you that don't know. I guess I'll start there. 75 hard is just a 75-day challenge it's a mental challenge, but obviously there's physical results to it once you hear the daily parameters. So what you have to do for 75 hard is you have to do 2 workouts a day. They must be 45 minutes. 1 must be outside in the elements. They have to be at least 45 minutes, I should say. They have to be spread out in 2 different workouts, so you can't combine them into 1 hour-and-a-half workout. You must read 10 physical pages of a book, nonfiction. So for me, that's a little challenging because I listen to Audible books all the time. So that is definitely a change for when I'm doing 75 hard. You have to take a daily progress pic. You have to drink a gallon of water every single day, and you must follow a specific diet of your choosing. So the diet is not prescribed, so it can be anything you want. You also cannot have any alcohol or cheat meals throughout the 75 days. So there are the parameters. It doesn't sound like much, and it's very simplistic. So before I ever did 75 hard, I'd say my first attempt at it was probably 2 years ago. Yeah, definitely. Probably 2019, 2018, sometime around there. And I looked at the program and I was like, man, this is easy. Like, I've gone through all kinds of military training and different things we did during Ranger Battalion and qualifying for being eligible for special operations. So I'm no newbie to challenges, but I kind of had an arrogant attitude towards it, in that I do that anyway, is what I said. And I've had, over the past 2.5, 3 years, people have told me that numerous times. Like, oh, that's just how I live. That's just how I live. I work out every day. I don't drink alcohol. I drink lots of water, blah, blah, blah. Right? Which is what I kind of thought. Then I went into that first attempt of it, and I again thought that. And I went 36 days, and we were leaving on vacation for my birthday and my daughter's birthday. Subsequently, my oldest daughter has the exact same birthday as I do, so we celebrate her birthday mightily every year. And so we were leaving for a week-long vacation for her birthday, and I decided that, hey, man, I'm 30 days into this, 36 days into it, because that's what I ended up finishing at. I'm all good. I'm going to go ahead and drink alcohol and enjoy my vacation. And what I didn't realize until the following year, when I went all the way through the program, was that I kind of half-assed it. It was, again, like, oh, I already do that. 36 days was not that big of a deal. It was not as challenging as I anticipated it being, obviously. But the difference was I wasn't even halfway through, right? 75 days is a long time when you consider that. So the people now that come up to me and they're like, oh, I do that on a daily basis. And I'm like, I think you're full of shit. Like, you're fucking lying to yourself that you do anything for 75 straight days with no deviation, zero compromise, zero fuck ups ever. 75 days is a long time. And the other thing that I have a lot of conversations with people about on it is they try to game plan it and like look at the calendar on when would be a great time to do this. Are we going to avoid so-and-so's wedding? Can we avoid birthdays? Can we do this? Can we do that? I'll save you guys the trouble. There is no period of time in a calendar year that you are ever going to have no conflicts in a 75-day period. So you're just going to have to throw that shit out the window and go ahead and take the thing head on, because you are going to be tested with regards to attending a gathering, a birthday, a wedding, a celebration, some sort that is going to dictate you either being very challenged or deviating from the program, one of the two. Last year we tried this program, or it was earlier this year. My wife and I started, I think, in February, and it really rubbed my kids the wrong way because they get very angry when we don't eat birthday cake. So that was an interesting one this time, because this one ran through our birthdays again. And I did not have birthday cake on my birthday or my daughter's birthday because of being on 75 hard. So they got over it this time. Obviously, I don't know why it was a big deal earlier in the year, but my wife and I decided it was time to pack it in earlier in the year and just cancel that effort, because at the time it wasn't really worth it, because it was my two oldest daughters discussing it, and we're not trying to give them negative connotations around food or body image or anything like that. So we got our shit together a little bit, explained it to them, kind of talked to them. It's not a diet. It's just a habit-based lifestyle program that you're doing. And so, I mean, my wife and I eat balanced macronutrient diets when we're on it. So, I mean, we're eating protein, carbs, and fats, which is what we talk to our kids all the time about, and how to balance those in your diet so that you're fueling your system properly. I mean, we have those conversations constantly with our kids. So at this point, they get it and they understand it, and they know sugar is not necessarily, it doesn't fit into any of those macronutrient categories necessarily. I mean, it's carb, don't get me wrong, it's fuel, but it's kind of trashy fuel. So we kind of talk about energy systems within the body and things like that. And it was a little bit easier this time. And by a little bit, I mean, it wasn't an issue at all. It was a non-issue with my daughters as far as not eating birthday cake. So you may run into that with your kids, just so you know. So that brings me to the first point, that a lot of people believe that this is a diet, and you're going to get ripped, and you do get ripped. I mean, I've dropped below 10% body fat every single time I've ever attempted it, and single digit body fat, 42 years old. I think I finished this time at 9%. Last time I was at 8%. I haven't tested myself in the last 2 weeks, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm at right now, but I would guess I'm probably a little leaner than that 9%, but we will get a final tally soon. The interesting thing, and the reason that I'm so adamant about doing it, is because for me personally, I don't actually tell anyone else to do it. I could take it or leave it if they are interested in doing it or not. I think it's a life-changing program with regards to self-recognition. And if you have enough self-awareness, like I'm huge in the personal development space. I study a lot of personal development personally, and I'm always trying to gain an edge for myself. And how I can operate on a higher level and just become a better version of myself. So I'm always looking for these type of edges, and I am trying to become more self-aware. So for me, I always call it like when you're getting out of the rails. And so daily life has a tendency to pull you off track, make you lazy. It's football season. I love college football. I have a tendency to want to watch college football. I want to eat whatever I want. I want to drink alcohol and watch football games. So that's generally what I want to do, right? So that's fine as long as everything else is getting done, right? So you in life, you compromise with yourself. You make deals constantly about, if I do this, then I'll do this. If I do this, then I'll do this. So if I work out 5 days in a week, I'll reward myself with binge drinking all weekend while I watch football and hang out, right? That's what people do generally. But what this does is it allows you to have a sense of heightened awareness on what you're doing. As far as I'm personally, I view myself as a high achiever. I'm haven't scratched the surface of where I want to go, but I'm highly driven, and I have high expectations of myself on a regular basis. So when I'm not producing, it eats away at me and eats away at my subconscious, because I know that I'm not living up to my potential and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So when I reach these periods of time that are laziness, of gluttonous, I'm eating, drinking, vacation mode, whatever it may be, and I'm not producing on the level that I want to produce, I realize it, and it runs me down, and mentally it drains me. So what I've always looked for is that edge to get me back in the rails, as I describe it. So I'll talk to my wife about it, and I'm like, ooh, I'm getting a little off the rails, because I'm just living a little too loose as far as it goes. And this program helps you be far more conscious to getting out of the rails, and it teaches you the tools that you need to bring yourself back immediately. And as a business owner and entrepreneur, we all have these moments where our emotional tank is drained, our energy tank is drained, and we're susceptible to just being lazy, if you will, right? And so your habits have to kick in, for one, which they do, but then you've also got like your issues where you may be taking a beating in business. Financially, you might be taking a beating. You might have a lot of things go on in your life that are stressors, right? And a lot of times we just succumb to the weakness of allowing those to dictate our performance. And also, this program and this level of awareness mentally allows you to understand that that's going on, and allows you to kind of counteract it. Ryan Stewman calls it the force of average, and I think that's brilliant. He preaches about it in our Apex group, and it's the force of average is going to bring you down. So anything that's positively happening in your life, you can also expect challenges and negativity to return you back to normal, right? To cut you down, to challenge you to see if you're willing to grow into and become deserving of those things that are coming into your life, right? And I believe that on a deep level. So you cannot remain the person that you are and achieve the things that you want to achieve, whether it's more money, more fulfillment, better relationships, all of it. You have to sharpen your sword at every turn to ensure that you're getting better in those aspects of things. If you want a better marriage, you've got to become a better husband. You've got to become a better partner. And if you want more money, you've got to become more skillful, more skilled at what you're doing. You've got to deliver more value to the marketplace. If you want to be a better body, you got to clean up your diet. You got to make good choices. You got to work out. You got to lift weights. It's very simple once you create that consistency over time. but it's not easy. And that's kind of what this program highlights. I was super happy that I was doing it during the time period that I did it. I think we started August 1st. We added a couple days to it because I'm going to do the entire Live Hard program, which is a year. So there's 3 more phases beyond this, beyond the 75 hard. There's 3 more phases that we're going to do, or I'm going to do. But I think we started on August 1st, but our official start date is August 5th. So we spent 4 more days doing it. So we did 79 days, but it's neither here nor there from that standpoint. But the time that it covered my birthday, which is September 21st. It also covered the 20th anniversary of September 11th, and it covered the debacle of the Afghanistan pullout. And so for the military vets and things like that, that was a very stressful time for us, as far as it conjured up all kinds of negative feelings with regards to what was being done and what's gone on over the last 20 years, quite frankly. And it makes you really think deeply about the people that you served with, sacrifices that were made, the sacrifices that you made, the sacrifices that others made, people that aren't here anymore, buddies that you had that were killed either in combat or from accidents after our years serving. So, I mean, all of that was brought to the forefront during my period of time doing this. And so I'm super happy about the time period that I was doing it, because I mean, the Afghanistan thing stacked on top of the 9/11 anniversary, which is an emotional time for us all anyway, because for me, I enlisted in the military immediately after the 9/11 attacks. And so that was a catalyst and a game changer in my personal life. Really changed everything in the trajectory of like where I'm at, where I've ended up. So for me, that's an important anniversary regardless, but to have it be the 20th anniversary and then have it be the pull out of Afghanistan, there was a lot compounded right there. And so it was just a big emotional time. And I can't with confidence say that I would have handled it nearly as well had I not been doing 75 hard. So the balance that it gave you and the structure that it gave you and the discipline that it gave you and the fact that you weren't drinking, like that stuff was all hugely helpful during the 75 days. And then my birthday came up. Then we had some major challenges in my business. We had some staffing situations that were challenging. Some things went on that we had some people depart, and it was on reasonable terms as far as I'm concerned. It was good terms, but some of our clients didn't view it that way. They were nervous that things were going on behind the scenes that weren't actually accurate. And so I had to just stand by my personal integrity and my personal understanding of how I handle every situation. And I was fair to people. I fulfilled every promise that I ever have with people, even though that wasn't necessarily the stories that were being told. So like you have to understand that it creates resiliency when you're taking care of your business. And so for me, I was fortunate. Like I said, I felt very fortunate to be doing the program and handling my business during that period of time, because I was confident in what I was doing. I was confident in the integrity that I was living with and how I've carried myself throughout. So those things all came on. It felt like a lot of weight on my shoulders throughout that entire period of time, but I was able to stay focused and continue to execute on the mission at hand, which was continuing to make progress in our personal life, financial life, business life, relationships, and continue with 75 Hard. And I attribute the program greatly to moving us forward and allowing me to be resilient through those times. So it was an awesome timing, awesome experience. So I also realized from the program, and I think this would resonate with anyone that's ever done it before, is that like, I truly feel like I'm on fire in the program. Like by the time I reach like day 40, I feel like I am operating at just another level with regards to the productivity that I produce on a regular basis. So I go about my business. I think I operate at a pretty high level most of the time. I do get distracted by shiny objects all the time because I'm tough to focus. But when I plan what I'm doing, I can really stay on task and I can really knock out a lot of work and get things moved. When I'm doing 75 Hard, holy smokes, like my productivity level is insane. So if you're looking for something to bump you up with your level of productivity, I can guarantee you that this program is going to dust off the cobwebs from your maximum efficiency and allow you to step up and operate at a higher level. I mean, there is something there to just the overall consistency of how you're showing up and performing that compounds itself over time, just like investing. I mean, you're making deposits daily, and it manifests itself over time into major production. And so that's all I can say about the program. I mean, it's a great program. If you haven't done it, I would challenge you to do it. I think it's a beneficial program. I do think that I'm not egotistical enough to think that I am a finished product at all, or even I have scratched the surface of my absolute potential. So I'm willing to try anything and everything and take the tools that I learn and apply them to my toolbox. What works, what didn't, how can I improve on a regular basis? That's what 75 Hard does for you. Take what you want, throw out the rest, be a better person at the end of the day, be a better leader at the end of the day, show up more consistently for your family, show up more consistently for your coworkers, your staff, whoever it is. The people that depend on you, you're going to keep your promises on a regular basis if you're doing this program. Because this program definitely ensures that you're sticking to your guns as far as handling your business on a regular basis. So if you haven't done it, go ahead and give it a shot. If you have done it, congratulations. Did you stick to it? Did you actually adhere to the rules? Did you do the harder thing every single time? So the rules are pretty cut and dry. When in doubt, do the harder thing at every turn. There's a lot of truth to that in life as well. If you do those things in life, you're going to oftentimes turn out better. You're going to have better results. You're going to be more resilient, and you're going to create more success. So let me know if you guys have questions. As always, you can reach me at therealjeffsmith.com or Real Jeff Smith on Instagram. Just DM me, shoot me a message. I'd love to hear about your journey. Tag me if you're doing 75 Hard. I would love to support you. Let me know if you guys need anything, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to the show. Make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share with a friend. We'll see you on the next episode of the Tactical Empire.